Welcome to Sober.Coffee, a weekly coffee chat sharing experience, strength, and hope for anyone on the sober road to recovery. You can download Sober.Coffee weekly on all podcast platforms and check us out on Instagram at Sober.Coffee Podcast and on Twitter at Sober.Coffee Pod. To learn more about us and to help support these sessions, visit online at Sober.Coffee. Here are your hosts, two guys on their own path to recovery, Mike and Glenn. Let's join them at the coffee shop.
Good morning, Glenn.
I am befuddled.
You're befuddled. Can you even spell befuddled?
Yeah, Befuddled, 2.
2 F's?
B-U-B.
Wait, you use this commonly in your vocabulary during the week that you know how to spell it?
No.
I mean, I don't see you as a befuddled guy.
No, I'm rarely befuddled.
No, you're really befuddled.
But I am right this minute, right now.
Well, why would that be? Just because we're walked in the coffee shop and we're like,
here.
hey, what's up, man? Yeah, no one's here.
Knock, knock. Nobody's
Knock, knock.
home.
Yeah, we might have somebody joining us at the coffee shop. That'd be a first time forever. So we'll go live. We'll go live if they walk in.
Well, life happens to people, but rarely this early Saturday morning does life, the crap of life get in the way. But
yeah.
Sometimes it does.
What you know what I'd like to talk about this morning?
Oh my, what?
We got a little bit of time, and that's no big deal because really, I mean, all I have is the experience of yesterday, and I'm going to try and repeat what I did yesterday to stay sober today. But we're going to have challenges.
But if you merely repeat, how do you grow?
Right? No, that's a good thing. Well, as a base, let me cover cover my action. As a base, I want to at least do the things that I did yesterday. But what are some of the challenges in like, for example, heard some very devastating news from one of our community members yesterday. His wife has taken ill, and my thoughts and prayers go out to him, and she's very, very ill. And and I listened to him. I listened to the story, and my question is, how is that impacting your sobriety, right? Because that's my job in our friendship, is not to solve his wife's medical condition. I've got people that come to me and they're in financial, or I'm not a financial counselor. I'm not a medical doctor. What I am is I'm a bit of a sobriety coach. I got to ask the hard question, and I've done it to you and you've done it to me. Mike, how's it affecting your sobriety? Glenn, I'm stressed out. I got this going on. My wife, my daughter, my friends, my job. Right. And you always ask me, how are you doing? And how is my sobriety doing? So are there times where your sobriety is, I know you live on a rock of 25 things you do every day, every week, every month, but is there times still, Glenn, that it's tough?
Yeah, that's a great question. And as you were just sharing that, it's just jotting a few things down. And so when I hear stories of that, guy's wife got cancer, I certainly look at my own life and I'm like, I'm sober for a while now, and here's what I have, right? I don't play the what if games like I used to. Mm-hmm. I used to lay in bed drunk and just play all kinds of what if.
Oh, sure. Did you ever play your wake out in your head? Like you want?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, sure.
Because what's so funny? It was going to be tomorrow. So,
I know, right?
So I totally
what's so funny? I did that. I tell you what, I haven't done that in 6+ years.
I have.
I haven't. I don't now.
But it plays out a lot different.
Yeah,
today.
Right. Sure.
In fact, you're at my wake, so make sure that suit's pressed. But no, so early sobriety, right? You try to live in the day, but your head's all over the place, all scatterbrained, and I'm like, well, okay, I made it through today, but what would happen if this happened, or what would happen if that happened? Would I be able to stay sober?
Right.
And I don't play those games anymore. So the minute that you said that about the guy's wife, I thought, well, what if that happened to Jen, right? Or what if Jen passed, or what if one of my kids got really sick and passed, or right? And would I not drink, right? We had a really close dude to us, and this is just the headspace, the mental gymnastics, the mental masturbation that goes on in my head is we just had a really close guy I've known for 15 years pass. He passed sober. He passed.
Check C.
Yeah, he passed old, right? And what was he, 85 or?
Yeah, 80
right?
plus, yeah.
45 years sober, 48, something like that.
Longer than that, a Packer fan. So how does one survive in this universe
Totally.
as a Packer fan? I don't know.
So I look at that, and he was really suffering the last couple of days in hospice, and so my mental gymnastics goes, but I drink that, right?
Mm-hmm. I'm not surprised. I've been there.
If I'm on the way out,
right?
Would I cocktail out, right? Mm-hmm. and so here's the only way that I can answer that today. The only way that I can answer your question. What I have definitively, factually, without a shadow of a doubt, is for the last 9+ years, excuse me, I have gotten through every situation of my life.
And some pretty high stress situations.
High stress, major wins,
right?
Big losses, mediocre, boring Tuesday afternoons.
Those are the danger ones.
I have gotten through every situation sober.
I
have not had to take a drink, or I have not taken a drink through any situation in the past 9+ years.
Right.
Now, I have 25 tools or things that I do a day, a week, a month, a year to stay sober. And the only one that's a year is I go to one retreat a year. So that's my 25th.
Right.
But
I'm glad that's not one meeting a year.
Yeah, no. But the rest I probably do
weekly.
Yeah. Right? Either daily or weekly. So I got 25 things, right? And what that has given me, from getting through my past 9+ years of all kinds of stuff, not having a drink, and I'm very confident in my 25 tools that they work. I have a level of confidence that it doesn't matter what happens to me today, I will be able to navigate and get through it without having to take a drink.
Well, that's outstanding.
Fair?
Yep, very fair, very fair. And for me,
amazing confidence.
I've thought this through, and here's what I've come to realize, because in the early stages I thought, yep, I'd take a drink then. I'm just being honest with you. Yep, I'd probably drink if I got cancer, my wife got cancer, I'd probably drink. I've totally flipped that. I don't want to blur the experience of either my last days or her last days by not being the present that I have the past 6 years. I'm present. I'm present in the moment.
That's a lot to give up. It's a lot to throw in the towel.
Give up.
A lot to throw in the towel. And, I see people a lot on social media go back to day 0, right, or day 1.
Breaks my heart.
Totally. And hey, no judgment zone.
I get it, right?
And it's funny because I'm pretty bold. I'm real on social media, just like I'm real on here and real in real life. But everybody wants to get coddled. Mm-hmm. Everybody just wants to get coddled. And how about all the people we know?
Yeah.
That didn't have a chance to get coddled.
No.
Because they died.
Yeah.
Right? And so relapse. And Mikey, maybe that's the 26th thing for me is in my brain, I just can't even fathom going back to day 1.
No.
I just, oh my gosh, just the mental pain and emotion wave. Oh my gosh.
Right.
Just couldn't imagine.
But I'll sit in a room and I'll hear of a story of a guy who had 6, 9, 19 years going back out. And it's a rude awakening for me. It's a stark awakening for me.
So I sat at a first step meeting 2 weeks ago. And it's funny, I had 3 first step meetings in a row. Tell me that's not a message.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's out there.
Totally. So, I'm sitting down in the basement with this dude, and there was another guy. There was 4 of us, and one guy shared his message. And he shared a message of having 10 years sober, right? So my next,
next
toll gate, right, or whatever,
right.
He thought he could control it.
Yeah.
Got away from the program. Mm-hmm. Got away from
the 25 things.
The 25 things. I mean, that's why people say, come on, man, you're 9 years sober. You still got to do all that shit? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, yeah. They're like, well, why?
I've had people say to me, you still go to meetings?
I know.
Well,
they're
of course,
like, why?
Because I'm still an alcoholic.
And I'm like, because it works.
Yeah,
and they're
right.
like, well, you have to do all those things? I'm like, here's what I know. I know all 25 work. 16 might not work.
Right.
And I'm not going back
You're not
to
chancing
that first day.
You're not chancing it.
Oh, my God.
The
mental pain. Yeah. Anything I go through today is Candyland compared to going back to that first day.
I know. Well, and I think that's the
the
thing that's very similar about you and I. We
have a lot of similarities.
We got a lot of similarities.
Our height.
I think oh, gee, our weight.
Our weight? Thanks.
So
Brian called me fat.
No, we're like Laurel and Hardy. We should change the name of the podcast.
Yeah, totally.
But no, the thing that's so similar about us is we'll take ourselves back to that point of pain, and we don't park there. It's not like, oh, I'm miserable, I can't drink. No, we park there for a second to realize the gift that we have today. You know, you can't. If you've got no bad, you can't compare to good. You don't, and you keep saying, you know, these are things that you have to do. But there are also things that we get to do. I mean, they're not painful 25 things. Going to a spiritual retreat once a year, I mean, you look at the grand business leaders in the world, they all take retreats. And many of them will take a spiritual retreat in the middle of the year, regardless of what's going on at Apple, regardless of what's going on at Microsoft or whatever. They're taking retreats.
So speaking of which, and I'll just flush out, we do 5 of these at a time, and we don't know when they're going to post or whatever. Right now, we're in September.
Right.
And you know what September is for me, right?
Your anniversary month.
No.
What?
It's my tapestry.
Oh,
it's my tapestry review session.
I know this about you.
So that's what September is for me. So here's what happened. Back in, and I think this is really, really cool. Back in 2018, right? I remember 2018, I was trying to do, so I don't know how many, 3 years sober, I guess. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to do the right thing, and my head just wasn't in anything. I'm like, man, I'm trying so hard. I'm not getting any results. I mean, my progressive recovery, that chart was so slow and just barely edging up month over month, barely getting better, barely.
Right.
Mentally, physically, job-wise, I was crutching along.
You weren't a hockey curve.
No, it wasn't a hockey stick at all, right? So, but I was okay with that because what I knew was my sober program was the concrete was drying, right? So I was okay, but I was just cranky. And I remember one September spending some real quiet time. And at that point, I was praying, and I prayed, I'm like, God, dude, because I call him dude. I'm like, I'm trying so hard, and I'm not getting anything in return. I'm just not getting anything in return. There's got to be something more than this. And at that point, I had felt some snippets of peace, So, I mean, I was getting, a little bit, and it was crazy, man, because for like 5 minutes, God turned over the tapestry, right? And, tapestry on the front's the beautiful picture. It's almost like what Brian's got back here. It looks beautiful, right? But on the back, right, there's all the strings all over the place, all the knots, cut string.
Makes no sense.
Yeah,
you can't see a picture.
You can't see any picture. You can't see any.
You're
and
just seeing blurs of colors,
right? And it was crazy because, for 5, and I'm getting the chills. That's a real good indicator for me today that things are cool. But for 5 minutes, God turned over the tapestry. Glenn, I did this for you. 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 You got married. You found, I put a wonderful, amazing woman in your life. You got married. You did this. You got a great relationship. And so I just started painting all the great stuff. And I'm like, holy shit, this is awesome. Right? I'm having, and then what I determined, as a result of that, and then I saw some things I needed to finish strong with in 18. What I realized is 2018 was the best year of my life. Not for money reasons,
right?
Not for accolades, not for material. I mean, just
by the way, you did win the lotto that year.
I did. I won $50. It was great, but not for stuff like that. But it was for inner right accomplishments and real relationships and real love and giving and serving. It was amazing. And so every September I've done it since. And 19, when I did it in 19, blew me away. So 2018 was the year of my life. Then 19 was the best year of my life. Then 20, then 21, then 22, then 23. So I do this every September, and I am blown away at accomplishments. And this year, I'm telling you, I can't wait to do the tapestry. You know, I still have one or two big accomplishments lined up to nail this year, but I mean, that's just
so. What do you?
Let
me just ask a couple logistical questions. Do you just park yourself in a corner of your house and just ponder this, write it out, review it? Tell me, how can somebody step into this process of looking at the tapestry of their life? I mean, do you go away somewhere?
Yeah.
And do it, or what do you do?
I'm actually thinking about going somewhere this year. I normally take a beach chair and go to the beach early at dawn.
Okay.
And just sit there for a couple hours.
It's free.
Yeah.
So you can't be listening to this saying no. I can't do it. I don't.
There's no reason why you can't do this.
Okay.
So I just go to the beach. I might go somewhere this year. I'm running out of weekends. I'm going to see my granddaughter at the end of September. But
you get to do that.
Yeah. God, man, it's what a privilege.
Was she part of your tapestry last year?
Yes,
she was. Yeah. She was brand new. She
was born last year. But I love how I'm connecting and engaging with her. Very healthy.
That's part of this year's
very
tapestry.
Rewarding.
Right?
I've really taken a lot of the tools of being the B team and riding the back of the bus, and I mean, I'm just getting rewards from all the concrete I laid. I let it set, right? All the things of this program, living this program. So I'm really looking forward to that. And then what I'm going to bring out of that, because without a doubt, 24 is just blown away, almost doubled all the years put together. And what I'm going to bring out of that is one or two more things that I got to focus on and finish strong with. One is, hey, I'm down 20 pounds, man, the last 3 months.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm really starting to focus. I mean, I ate the muffin. Thank you, though.
You're welcome.
But I mean, I'm really looking. I'm really doing well in a lot of areas, and so I'm looking forward to the tapestry.
That's awesome, man.
But hey, and part of that, I'm going to make sure I'm going to review my 25 tools and find out where my accountability is with those, and make sure the pencil's sharpened with those. I'm also going to look at the pillars of my life, and that's kind of what I do. Is I've got a number of pillars of my life. And I'm going to go down and, just sharpen the pencil and look at each one of them. And
sure am I
doing my best? Right.
That's awesome,
Same thing
man.
You do, but you
I do it at the end of the year.
January
Yeah, I'm more a calendar year. I flip it. I go down Florida and just.
So I still do a calendar year, but I do it in September only because that's when the first tapestry came around.
Right. Well, and what I love about that, and
then I want to finish
right.
strong.
And yeah, you want to finish strong. Yeah. I love that about you. You always look at that last quarter and say, it's not too late to make a change. And yeah, I love that. I love that about you.
Just in case I'm missing something, I want my end of the year review to be really good. So I review in September just to make sure that I got a spotlight on the right areas on that tapestry. But one of these days, I'm actually going to find a tapestry somewhere.
Yeah.
And I'm going to frame the back of it.
The back of it, right.
Well, here's what I'm going to do. 2 sections. And I'm going to frame them really nice for my office wall. One is the back, all the knots, and the other one is the front, how it looks beautiful, just as a reminder.
Yeah. Yeah, and I guess my message to anybody listening who's inspired by it, which I am totally inspired by it, is it doesn't matter if you're listening to this in March, in July, or September.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Just take the time to stop and reflect and see where you're really at. Because a lot of times where we think we're at is not where we're at.
Life can be busy, man.
You went into that first tapestry feeling miserable because of your non-achievements and then found all this beautiful picture of what had happened. And I think we lose sight of what's actually happening sometimes as we muddle through the mud.
Totally, man. So
good stuff.
That's what's coming up. And but I have confidence today. I know you do too, man. There's nothing that we cannot get through without taking a drink. We don't need that drink.
Love it, brother.
Just don't need it.
Have a great week.
All right, brother. See you, man. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us for today's coffee chat. To contact the show, email us at podcast@Sober.Coffee. If you need immediate help, the AA hotline is 800-839-1686. The National Suicide Prevention Hotline is 800-273-8255. Remember, Mike and Glenn are sharing their own journey on the path to recovery. Any suggestions, medical or otherwise, are their own experiences and should not be viewed as professional advice. See you next week, and remember, there is a solution.